Okay, good news. Um, State camp is finally set up. I brought out the entirety of my state camp as far as like, wow, that's like really over exaggeration to say entirety. I have a bare minimum to survive out here if I need to stay here overnight. I have one meal that I'm going to leave here in the tent. I have a tent, which is shelter, and I have a sleeping bag. This sleeping bag is rated for negative 40 degrees. It's currently like actively inflating. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's like was in a stuff sack just a few minutes ago, so it's like reflating, coming back to life. This is a milestone for this trip. I've had to change my plans and learn so many lessons and wait for snowfall. I mean, like, it's been nuts. But having this out here, the 5 miles away from the highway and everything, I know that if I get carried away or if I shoot some caribou or whatever else happens, I can harvest it right there on the spot. And if it's too late in the evening, I can come right back to this spot and I can sleep here. I've got a change of thermals that I can change into. I've got some really nice cold weather gear that I can sort of like put on top, but I don't think I'm going to need it inside this sleeping bag. This is the best sleeping bag that I own. And I think that that's important to have out here this far away from like the truck and the furnace and, the buddy heater, that sort of stuff. So this is a big deal. Tomorrow, man, today was tough. This was tough carrying this extra weight out here. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and bring food, my kettle, the stove, and some clothes, along with what I already have out here. I should be able to stay out here for multiple days. And that's kind of where the money is, because as of right now, I've been burning like 5,000 or 6,000 calories a day. I've been hiking for 5 to 6 hours a day. It's been a lot. And like I'm losing a lot of my daylight hours to just traveling back and forth to this spot. Which, okay, I knew this. It wasn't like this was a lesson learned type situation for this, because I found this out on the first year. And that's why I made the plans that I made last year to be able to come out here and stay out here. But the conditions weren't right to drag a sled full of supplies. It's still snowing. I can hear it hitting the tent and everything. Which is good insofar as like, all right, cool. It makes it easier to drag the sled and everything if there's more snow. This was tough. This was tough so far. And I'm trying to keep heart because this has been tough with nothing to show for. I don't have a single wolf or caribou or bear or anything that's on my list in the bag, as it were. So I'm trying to, I didn't bring the stuff to filter water today. So I'm kind of just stuck drinking what's in my thermos right now. Oh, I should probably update you guys because, I kind of briefly touched on it as far as like a difference gear type situation or whatever. Last year, the first year actually that I came out here, I learned real quick that everything would freeze if it wasn't in some kind of insulated or heated situation or whatever. And I would put my CamelBak on basically right against my skin and, not against my skin, I'm sorry, against my base layer, and put all my jackets and stuff on over it. And then at night I would sleep and I would put the CamelBak in there with me. What I learned though is that, okay, cool, I can just get a small vacuum sealed thermos and it's good for 24 hours or more. Especially if it's got like warm water to begin with, not just like cold or lukewarm water. like nice and hot, warm and toasty, coffee drinking temperature type stuff in my thermos right now, which is actually really refreshing. You wouldn't think that, you're like, oh, would you like a nice hot glass of water? No, but out here I'm like, oh wow, that is powerful stuff. It's great. So I'm doing that instead of carrying my Camelback around and struggling through trying to keep that thing liquid. It's less BTUs than I'm sharing at night. I find myself not trying to crawl away from it all night long because it's cold. It's less that I've had to deal with carrying on my back and trying to share that body heat with that. Sorry, I'm really thirsty and it's showing. It's just easier to just carry a thermos in the sled and be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna drink some warm water. And I can have it next to me at night. I can pick it up and drink it. It's really, let me get it because it's actually really funny to see it. Ta-da, R2-D2. So this little guy, that's the water I have to get me home today, is what I've been using instead of my Camelback. It's a Camelback kind of, I mean, like if you just get the bladder itself, it's not bad, but then it's not going to be insulated. And then the hose, I'd end up freezing on me a bunch. Last year on the winter hunt, the 40-mile winter hunt to be specific, sorry. That thing was just always frozen and I was always struggling to warm it back up somehow. A piece of the tube would come out of my jacket or something and then would freeze in that spot in minutes. So I was just like, this is really frustrating. So other than getting back to base camp, my objective for today has been accomplished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest here. I'm going to eat my lunch. I'm probably going to drink what's left of my water, and then I'm going to pack up and I'm going to go back and enjoy the fact that I have a tent and a sleeping bag and a cot. I have a place to sleep with a few amenities for tomorrow. And if I pack it right, food, clothing, my stove and the kettle so that I can just boil water to filter it. The water over in that lake looks really clean. Like there's some stuff growing in there, but it's not too gross. So I'm thinking that if I boil it, that I'll be okay. I mean, if not, I'm sorry everyone back home and the medical team that has to make me better. Yeah, so that's the plan and that's what I've got going on. It's nice to have this built. It's nice to have this here. It's nice to think that maybe tomorrow when I come out here, I'll be able to stay out here for a while. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I'm still trying to think through this stuff and I'm still trying to make good decisions and smart tactical decisions about when is a good time for this, that, and the other. And it's a lot to bounce off of, the few phone calls that I've been able to make to my wife. My oldest daughter, Emily, I actually called her and I was like, dude, I wish you were here because you're awesome at helping me work through these decisions. You're so creative about how to find solutions to things and so on. And as much as I would not want her to suffer through the tough parts of this trip, I would have loved to have had her here more. I will say that I do feel that she's thought about me while I'm out here, which is really cool. Man, what a tough hike out today though, with the extra weight. Yeah. Okay. Well, I still have a few decisions to make today before I leave. I think one of the things that I need to decide if I'm going to do or not is, and this is really risky, but it could pay off, would be to leave my top layer cold weather gear that I have out here. It's risky because that leaves me, if I twist my ankle or something like that on the way back, that I don't have any way to keep myself warm. Wow, that sounds really bad. I mean, when I think about it that way, but it would be really nice to not have to carry it, that extra weight and space in the sled again tomorrow, only just to keep it out here. I don't know. I'm really thinking about that one. I'm like, ooh, if I twist my ankle and I'm not able to walk, like if something bad happens, I will be dead before rescue services can get to me wearing my sweaty sweats that I'm wearing right now. This is soaking wet from the hike out. My pants are wet. The only reason why I've been able to just wear this hiking out here is because I kept moving. I didn't really stop and take a lot of breaks. I think there was one time I unhooked the harness from the sled and like sat down, but like I kept moving the whole time otherwise. And that's the only reason why I could look down, I could see myself just like steaming, you know, all between my body heat and the extra moisture coming out of my clothes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take that stuff. You guys talked me into it. Good decision. Thanks everybody. I can feel the luck there. I'm going to keep that stuff in there. It'll take up, it doesn't weigh that much anyway. It doesn't take up that much space. I don't need to get too greedy with my space. If I really can't get everything out here that I want tomorrow, I can just take a third day to bring more stuff out, and that's okay. Then I'll have extra stuff out here. No big deal. And then I'll just give myself those many days to pack out when I leave, even though I won't be leaving with food and water. And anytime I go back with caribou, fingers crossed there, that I'll take back any empty or extra stuff at that time as well. So like one caribou plus, you know, 3 changes of thermals sort of thing, and an empty water bottle, that sort of thing. I can just haul it back with that. Okay, wish me luck. I'm gonna go through a few things and double check stuff and kind of repack what I got, take a look around, see if there's any caribou, eat my lunch, drink some water, and then get back to base camp. Wish me luck.